Hi, this is Phyllis with Philly's Finds, coming today to you with a tutorial. This in here is kind of a fun little tutorial. I am currently working on this Halloween junk journal, and I came across these tags in this die cut Halloween die cut paper pad. Now this die cut paper pad I bought a while ago. Have never pulled anything out of it, but it has tags with all different types of, well, maybe I have. Oh, look there. See, I have taken stuff out. I just didn't realize it. But all different die paper pads that were Halloween for die cuts with a view, and there's everything imaginable in here. So some really fun stuff to pull out. So what I did pull out was this one here. Now the reason I liked this is because this has these little tags down here at the bottom. And the nice thing about this is you can leave them on the paper as you're working on them. That way you have capacity to move them around and to do what you need to do. So I'm working on these bottom ones here, and I've just kind of pulled a few things that make it a little easier to do these tags. Different ideas of what you can use, and I'm going to go over some of those things with you right now. So some of the supplies I pulled these music sheets. Now they're vintage. They're, have the notes on them. This one doesn't have any words or anything. It's just a music sheets from a musical book. And, it shows the pages like this 32, this is 101. It has numbers down here at the bottom. But what I did is I took a page of this and ripped strips. Now you can use a cutter to do it. I do have a Tim Holtz cutter that I can use to rip strips. You can use any kind of ruler. I prefer the metal rulers to do this because it is much easier to rip these strips. Now what I've done, I've used one of them, I used on the back of this little tag here. And then I also used some of this. And I did the same thing with this, ripped strips. And then crinkled it all up. Just like I've done in the past when I did this tag. I crinkled some of the receipt tape and distressed it and put it on a tag to use as a tuck. But that's one of the things you can use. Now this here is like onion skin, is what they call this. It's very thin, almost like your tissue paper from your patterns. Now you could use patterns, old patterns, and cut little strips and do the same thing with it. This comes already pre-dyed, and it has these edges that you can see that are old and distressed. Pull this in over here and you can see it a little better and how that is. So that's why I've decided to use them. I don't have to do any distressing for it. I also am using these fall stickers. I did use that on this. I put a couple of fall stickers in there. And this one here, I did put a couple fall stickers on it. This one here is a work in progress. I'm still going to add some things to it. But just to give you an idea of what you can do, this is just a tag that I created, and I used the stickers, distress them, and to make the holes at the tops. This was the edge of one of these, and I used it and left it ragged and torn down the side. So what I'm doing here, I'll show you these two at the bottom. I've used this tissue, onion skin, crinkled it all up just like I did last time. I'm going to put it in, and you can wrap it around to make it go where you want it to go, or you can, put it in a straight line, whichever way you want to go. So what I'm going to do is cover this with some of this onion skin. And once you start it in, all you have to do is flatten it out. Keep on putting it in where that glue is. Smash it down with your fingers, and it will really adhere very well to this. Now you can go back and glue spots that are lifting up that you don't necessarily want on the tag to come up when you're putting it in a pocket. So this is what I've done. I've gone back through, add some more glue to get that flattened out. Now for the top of it, I did get some embellishments, and I just got a collection of little pieces, bits and pieces. I did take some of this and rip this music down into smaller pieces, and you can use those on top of it. You can also use any of these little cut-aparts that you might get. Now there's quite a few different ones. This is from the package of cut-aparts that I got at Hobby Lobby. This one here was a stamp punch that I stamped out. In fact, I distressed the back side with different colors and put a specimen sticker on there. This in here is from a Tim Holtz group. I do believe this is from Tim Holtz as well. This was also from that group, which, you can come through and put stuff over the top. You don't have to necessarily use the tag that you get with that, but these are quite similar to the tags I'm making right now. So, the idea is to pick out something that you want to put in your spot. Now, let's move these guys up. If you put something like this butterfly, you're going to want to put something behind it. Now, you can put something that's the same color, or you can put something that's a different color to put into it to make a really cute combination. I'm also going to take and put some ink on these. Get our favorite ink. Give them a distressed look. And when we punch this out, we will also have the capacity to distress the outer edges. So like with this one, I'm trying to decide which way to do that. I think I'm going to do it that way. And they're just simple. You know, clusters are nothing more than a layering of different components to make them into what they are. You can add burlap to it. So now I've got a burlap strip that I just cut off some burlap fabric, and I have used that on the back side of this and on the back side here, and you can use that on your clusters. You can also use your twine. Now I did take a piece of twine and made it into a bow, and that's really easy to do. You do a loop, wrap around, and then push the loop through. Make sure you hold on to it. And there you have your little bow. And all you do is cut that tail, and you've got your bow. So, easy to make, and you can add those in anywhere you want. Now, this one here on the corner, I used a piece of the paper, the music paper, and then I also used these. Now, you get these at the Dollar Tree, and they come, you know, little automatic stickers. This one here I got at Daiso, so it's got some really fun and interesting things. It's more see-through than what I'm going to use on this. So I used that there, and I think I'm going to use another one from this pack, I think, because I'm kind of going with a music theme here on this one. This one has musical notes. So we're going to do, once again, scrunch that up. Use a piece of paper. And just scrunch on down to whatever you've scrunched up. It will leave the distressing where you want it and make it look like it's old and crinkled. So we're going to put some of that down. You can put it right on the tag if you want, or you can put it on the paper itself. I'm putting it right on the tag. And there we got that attached to it. And then picking out which one you want. Now you can go with any of the numbers of colors. I'm thinking of, instead of pink, I'm going to go with a green, because I do like this green. And it's got like a little floral kind of design to it. Or you can do this green, which is like a fleur-de-lis. But I think I'm going to use this one. Now you can just stick these straight down, but I prefer to use a little bit of glue behind them, because otherwise they will pop off. So, and I like using the Fabri-Tac to do that. Let's turn the way we want it. We'll just stick that down there. And I'm going to put one of these bows in. Stick that right on the top of it. Press down to get it in place. It will stick to your finger, like it's doing to mine. But once it dries, it's really, really good. So we can continue on down around here. I did pick up out of my stash one of these. Now this is a clear one. You can use this as a kind of a magnifier on a piece of paper. Now that one there, I'm just going to stick it right down. Not there, not there. Stick it right down for that. And then we're going to use some of our onion skin. Of course, once again, just wad these up. This stuff is really, really forgiving. It does not necessarily tear or rip as easy as some tissue papers might. Now you could use tissue paper if you wanted. Onion skin, like I said, it's almost like a paper that you would use in your for patterns. So I'm going to just stick some of this around. Around our little clear spot, and tear off what I don't want. You don't have to use the whole thing. Fold that one in. Now I do have some of the Halloween things that I've gotten, and I can use those in there. And I think I'm going to use this little spider in here to give this a more of a Halloween touch to it. So let's stick him in place. Now I could go back and do a second layer on here if I wanted. Well, I think that's what we're going to do right there. The fun thing about this is just using whatever resources you have, and, you know, think outside the box always. And once again, go underneath. And then if I wanted, I could put a bow on there, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's see what else we've got. Hold all those out. Let's see. Nope, that one. Okay, we're going to stick some of these little guys in there. Working in odds. If you are going to do like gems and things like that, put them in rows of 3 or odd numbers rather than in even numbers. That way you have what, you know, is the perfect way of doing it. My mom always said work in 3s. See, now I can use this little spider here if I want to. But this is how you continue to add, change, do some things that are outside of what you would normally do. Use a little bit of this. Now, a nice thing about these is you just pull the threads and you get your fringe. That way, if you want a fringe on something, you've got it. Now, I can either do something like this, or I can do something like this, which is what I think I'm going to do on this one. And then if I wanted to, I can put something down there or some jewels along the bottom. You can always decide which way you want to go on this, or whether you want this on top and that underneath. Like I've done with these, is putting the item underneath. It's one nice thing about burlap. It is very forgiving when it comes to making little background bits and pieces. You just pull off what you don't want, set it down, take your paper, so like with this one here, crinkle it all up. Let's grab this sheet here so that we can distress this. And you don't have to necessarily use just one color. If you want to distress something with two colors, you can do that as well. This one here is black soot, so it makes it a little darker. Paper down real quick and easy. Can put our burlap there, and with this one I think I'm going to put this. So burlap, and I do find when you get this big blob back here, just roll it off with your fingers. It's the quickest way to get it off of there. Now there are different colors of burlap, so you don't have to necessarily use one color. This one here is what I had available at the time, so I'm just going to use it. And burlap is one of these things where you can move it. See how I'm curving this a little bit? It's not in a straight line. You don't have to have it in a straight line. And let's distress this. Get it all distressed to go on there. And we'll glue it down. And there you go. Got another one done. But you just keep on working and adding and putting things on there that you think might look really good with it. So I could easily do this. Do the burlap, the little cloche, and the sticker, maybe, maybe not. Let's go this route this time. Now the nice thing about this has a spot up here for holes to put, if you want to put a hole. You don't have to. You can use it as a tag that goes in or a corner. And like with these things here, if it has these little itty bitty bops, you can just trim those off if you want. And let's stick this guy down. And we'll put our burlap. And number 26 is what we're going to do on this one. All right. So, but this gives you an idea, and then when you're done, all you have to do is pop this out. And there you go. You got your tag done. You've got writing material on the back side. You can go through and distress the edges so it does not show that white. You can hand cut out tags and just be wavy as you do them as well. You don't have to necessarily use a die cut like this, but die cuts, this one is kind of a neat idea, and it works really well for doing things like this. But I'm hoping this will give you some ideas on what you can do with some of the things you might have. And like I said, I had this die cuts paper pad, and I just really hadn't used anything in it to speak of. So pulled it out and started using it. These little guys up here are little drawers. Those can be used also for embellishing down below. You don't have to use them for what they're got up above, and they would be fun to put in. They are Halloween related little drawers, but you don't necessarily have to have them for that. There are things on here: wands, nightshade, juju, aura, grubs, you know, so they are Halloween related, but they would be fine to use in other things. You could put something over the top of it. But this can give you an idea of what to do with some of those things that you've got, and how to use other things that you may not have thought of using, like this onion skin and music sheets and burlap. So, hope this will give you some ideas on what you can do to use your stash. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.